Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Leeds have, of course, just drawn 1-1 away at the John Smith Stadium against Huddersfield Town in a game which was, well, certainly in the first half, could only be described as one of the most boring games of football I've ever seen in my life. The amount that they tried to break it up, to slow us down, to break things up, it worked for them. We'll give them that. It worked for them in that first half, and it ended and it culminated with Hellick scoring a goal right at the end of that first half, which was a free kick in a position we never should have given away, especially knowing that these are a team that realistically they want to get set pieces against you. They want to score set pieces against you. So why then do we allow them to have so much time and so many opportunities to take free kicks and corners and things like that? And we're giving away corners and free kicks and stupid positions and stupid situations. It's almost like we're so busy trying not to do that, what we end up doing it, I don't know. But of course that gave them the opportunity to get the ball in the box, and eventually one of those opportunities came good for them, and Hellick was able to drop on the rebound after Sorba Thomas's delivery into the box. We know how good Sorba Thomas's delivery is. We've seen it. Everybody's seen it all season in the Championship. He's got a lot of assists, or at least shot creating actions and goal creating actions, by putting the ball into the box from his free kicks. His delivery is very good. Don't give him the opportunity. That's the thing from that first half. The other thing is, refereeing wise, they probably should have had a good couple of red cards. So Jonathan Hogg got sent off right at the end of that first half, and it was a well-deserved sending off because he'd already got a yellow card. Then he just decided to elbow Firpo in the face for no reason, so he got his red card, which I did enjoy greatly because Ampadu was about to complain that he wasn't going to get a card, and when he did, Ampadu just went, get off, right in his face, and I enjoyed that bit of housery, shall we call it. But yeah, I do think that we struggled in this game. I do think we struggled, and it's worrying because these are not a very good team. Honestly, they're not a very good team. They packed it at the back towards the second half because they had 10 men, and we did create opportunities. We didn't create enough. We did not create enough goal-scoring opportunities. Considering the attacking talent we had, they had 10 men on the pitch and they were sat back in. We needed to create more, and we needed to score a second one. Our actual goal was good, and it came when Daniel Farke brought on Daniel James and Connor Roberts, and he also brought on, it was a midfielder as well, wasn't it? Kamara came off. Another midfielder came on. I can't remember who it was, let's be honest. So the ball came down the right-hand side for Dan James. He played it into the box for Connor Roberts, who cut it across, and Bamford was able to get on the end of it and put it in the back of the net. And so, yeah, at that moment I was thinking, oh, okay, we've won this now. We just need to score one more. We didn't manage to in the end, and it's really, really frustrating and disappointing. So there goes our winning streak. We haven't lost, though. It's still an unbeaten streak this year. And I do think that realistically, we were never going to keep that streak going forever, but it was disappointing for it to be against somebody like Huddersfield Town. But nevertheless, like I say, because it's not a loss, it shouldn't impact our confidence too much. We still managed to come back into the game. We still managed to score a goal, and we still managed to get a point out of it. Of course, you've then got Ipswich and Southampton to play. If Ipswich win, they go ahead of us. If Southampton win, they are still 3 points behind us. So that's not the end of the world. But realistically, we needed to try and make some distance between us and Ipswich, and we're obviously just giving them an opportunity to catch up with us by doing that. So hopefully they don't do very well in their game, but we also do play on Tuesday and Friday, so there's a lot of games coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for them because I'll be live for them all on the channel. But it was just disappointing. I think Kamara didn't have a great game. I think Archie Gray at times did really, really good stuff, but I think he's looking a little bit tired, and that's probably why Farke brought him off, so that's fair enough. I think Melier had quite a good game. Didn't think any of it was his fault, but we were giving away free kicks in silly positions. I think Firpo was okay going forward, but I think defensively he was lacking a little bit positioning-wise. Like I said, Glenn Kamara didn't think was great. Gruev, or Groif, as we should now be calling him, now we are enlightened to the pronunciation of that name. I thought he was okay, but I didn't think he was fantastic. I think he's kind of no way that a player keeps up a run of form as good as his for the amount of time that he's kept it up and not have a little bit of a lull at some point. So Gruev wasn't as good, or Gruev. Somerville was okay, but I think every time he got the ball, he was getting doubled up on by the fullback and Rodoni, the central midfielder, were both trying to go over and double up on him. So that made it more difficult for him. And then, of course, you've got Bamford, who, whilst he scored his goal, I don't think he had a fantastic game on the ball, but off the ball, he did the good work that we usually expect from him. Jorginho, again, he didn't really have the time and space to do what he wanted to do, the way that he wanted to affect the game. I don't think he did fantastically well doing that, but I do think he did okay. Like, we would have been worse without him on the pitch, I think, is the thing. And I think when we brought Joel Peru on, I don't think he really helped matters. Honestly, I don't think he really helped matters. I think he's a little bit heavy-footed, isn't he, with his touches? He kind of gives the ball away a little bit. I just didn't think that he was. I didn't think that he was great, to be honest. Dan James, again, I thought was good. I thought Nonto got a little bit too involved in all the sort of fighting and aggression and all that sort of thing in the first half. And actually, yeah, going back to that, I never finished my point, did I? There was the one which I talked about, where Hogg elbowed Firpo and got himself sent off. There was another one where Pearson, I think he just raked his studs down the back of Somerville's calves for no reason, and that should have been a straight red card. If that's in the Premier League, that's VAR, straight red card, and that's what he should have got for that, because that was not a fair challenge whatsoever. He didn't go for the ball in any way, he just tried to kick him, and multiple times they just tried to kick our players, and really they should have had multiple more yellow cards than they actually did. I'm surprised that they kept 10 men even on the pitch, because the amount of times that they were actually just being really dirty, making bad tackles, bad challenges on our players. And let's get serious. There's a potential for injury when you're doing things like that. If you're raking your studs down the back of someone's calf, or just flying in for a challenge on them when you know you're not going to win the ball, it's dangerous. And so surely that falls under the dangerous foul play or malicious intent, or whatever you want to put it under. There should have been more yellow cards and potentially more red cards even, because the way that they played wasn't football. I mean, when you actually looked at the way that they played when they actually had the ball and they were going forward, it wasn't that bad, and they were actually trying to attack, and they actually did well in that first half. Even though we had massively more possession than what they did, they created chances because they tried to play forward, and they tried to break through Sorba Thomas, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you look at the other side of the game, when they didn't have the ball, it's just awful, because they're just trying to hurt our players. And most of them, I said this during the stream, most of them are young lads. So Nonto, Jorginho, Somerville, Archie Gray, all of those, and they're getting kicked lumps out of them by these big brutes at centre-back who know that they've nowhere near as talented or skilled as them. And I just don't think it's on, really. And I said, pick on someone your own size. We wouldn't see them doing it to somebody like Joe Rodon, would you? So why don't they just pick on somebody their own size? And it just annoyed me that they just think they're just big brutes and they just try and kick lumps out of your good players. But having said all that, Leeds have drawn 1-1. It's not the end of the world, but it might feel like it to some people. It's not the end of the world. We go again on Tuesday. The good thing about the Championship is you've got another game coming up and you can just instantly focus on that. So we focus on that game against Stoke, and then we focus on that game against Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday and on Friday respectively, which will both be live on the channel, and there'll be match reactions and all that good stuff. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button for plenty more content. Thanks though for watching Leeds Lately and watching this rather deflated match reaction, because I did think we were going to come back and do something in that game. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.